We said we were going to do the blue fuel cell for the nitrous, and there it is. So I've already got everything marked out. That's going to be our vent tube there, and believe it or not, it actually closes. It's really tight. Everything shuts with no issue. I picked this thing up off of Amazon. I think it was like 80 bucks. I really overpaid for it, but I really like the blue for some reason. I want to run this in the car so that we can run race gas in it, so that when we spray the car, we'll have race gas going through the spray bar on the plate system. That way, we're at least getting some shot of race gas. Now, the fuel cell down here will be left with 93 octane, or we could always come in with some octane booster or race gas if we want to. Both of these could have race gas. So here you can see that we have a pump Jonate hooked us up with, and that's going to go basically in the same spot underneath the car, except on the other side. Then from the pump, we're going to come out and up into our regulator, which will probably sit on this side of the engine bay somewhere. So that's going to cover the fuel side of the nitrous kit. Then of course we're going to run our bottle, which is also, these fittings for the nitrous are 6AN, so this is a bigger setup. I've got to order all that. That'll handle this, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for a purge. So like I said, I've got everything marked. We're going to go ahead and drill our holes right now and get ready for the bolts. In that particular position, that hole works perfectly. Well, looks good. Cool. Everything looks like it lines up except for one hole, of course. That's usually the way it goes. So let's just drop some bolts down in here for the time being. So that bolt there is right up against that brace. So what I may do is just weld a nut on the bottom side of the car and just screw it in. Everything else is in place. So we're going to go ahead and lower the car down, see what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. Cool. That's where our fitting now comes out of. And that should work perfect because we're probably going to put the fuel pump right over here. Basically in the same position as that one, just on this side, and run everything up on this side of the car. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and weld the clamp up here. And I know you're probably saying, why would you weld it? Why not just screw it in? But I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like it welded in up there. I don't have to worry about anything coming out, you know, screws backing out and things like that. So we'll just tack weld that thing up there on that side, and we should be good to go. So what we'll probably do is cut this line down and put the filter probably right here. And then we'll just kind of come out and connect to it. I'll tell you what we can do. Why don't we change things up here? So after the pump, everything is -6, which is perfectly fine for a nitrous system. That's all the fittings are anyway. So with that being said, this is -8 right here. Why don't we take this off, switch everything to -6, and what that'll do is go ahead and allow me to hook all of this up, because remember we have a -6 90 right here. So I may just go ahead and swap everything over and then basically get everything plumbed up to right here, like right now. Maybe even go ahead and start running the line up towards the front of the car. So I need to swap this pump because this is actually the out position right here. So it needs to be flipped and the fittings need to be changed. I'm making a short hose because I think I'm going to swap everything over to 6AN like we talked about earlier. And with that being said, we don't need -8 feeding into the pump. There's just no point if you're going to have -6 coming out. Not in such a short run, at least. I think that'll work. And then we can come out of this filter into the pump. So now that we have this, we can strap it up there like that. That looks pretty good. And then come out with a short hose from here to there now. So yeah, I like that. Now I'm just going to build a short line from here to there. Cool. Nope, look at that. Freaking perfect. That is sweet. Now I'll just have to get this off. The only thing with this fitting right here, and I'm just trying to reuse what we already have, this fitting has a hole in it for a gauge. We can just plug that off though, and that gives a little bit of length. That should be perfect. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about here. I found another scrap piece. This was from Andrew's car. Look, we can go in there and then right to there with it. I think that's gonna work. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, I love it when a plan works out. Look at that. That is sweet. So we got our line coming out of the tank here, through the floor, right up through here, right to the pump. It's all 6AN line all the way up front. And we have that already. We've got our 6AN line right here. I'm not sure if it's gonna be long enough, but we can always just put a union in it. So I'm just gonna disconnect it from the regulator here. And here we go. So let's go ahead, start feeding this thing up. It really needs like a 45 on it, honestly, but that should work. All right, since you guys can't really see what I'm doing, I'm just gonna leave the camera rolling, start feeding this line up front. I think I found a way to route everything. I'm gonna go ahead and start screwing it all in, and then I'll show you guys what we got once it's done. All right, y'all, let me show you what we got here. So we got our line coming out to right here with a filter on the end, and I'm basically using this filter as a union, but smart to go ahead and have it and use it. So right here, we're gonna put a 90, a little short piece of hose, and that's gonna work fine. I did cut this out right here, just to give room for the 90. This is gonna shoot straight across and underneath this and behind it, go all the way through, come out and into the back side of the nitrous solenoid or the fuel solenoid, which is gonna be right here. So when the engine's in the car, that line's gonna come in and bloop, right there to that. So we only need, I think, like 2 fittings to finish that up. So that saved a lot of money using all those old parts. I do have to have an adapter here so we can run our vent tube. I already have one for that. And that's pretty much gonna be it. This thing's bolted down. It's not going anywhere. We're good to go. Got a little something else for you guys. It's probably gonna go right over here in this area. That's it right there. Not saying any more. Something I've wanted to do forever and ever and ever, and it's coming. So that being said, let's go ahead and lift this thing up. We should have enough clearance there, but I'm not 100% sure. But if you look, it's up here into the frame rail, so I would think we'd have enough clearance there. It goes down under the muffler to keep the heat away. That should be just fine right there. All right, so right on the muffler, out, and then underneath here. All strapped up, comes up, strapped, and goes to the top. So that's it. Nice little clean setup. So this car is now divided. We have carburetor fuel on this side and nitrous fuel on this side. I just thought it would be better that way. That way if you have a leak, you're not wondering which one it is. You can tell which side it's coming out of. I wanted to come out and give you guys a little bit of an update on all the stuff that we got going on for the poop coupe. Here is the rest of our nitrous stuff. We've got our 6AN line for our bottle. We've got our gauge. It's just old filter. And just all of our random fittings here, along with a Jegs branded micro switch bracket for 4150 carburetor. And just there again, like I said, some more stuff here. That's pretty much going to wrap up the nitrous side of the poop coupe. So I'm going to finish running all our AN line up here, and I'll come out here and show you guys what we got after that. Also though, along with this, we can now fill our own nitrous bottle. So I wanted to add this in to show you guys what we got going on here. As you can see, we have a mother bottle, and this little blanket here is actually an electric throw that I ordered off Amazon. And it does a decent job on a nice cold day of getting the bottle to maybe 70 degrees. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, you can see we've got our digital scales. They run down to here.
This again come off Amazon for like 30 something bucks. We've got our hose. This is a siphon bottle. We will be transitioning over to a non-siphon bottle, one that you flip upside down on a stand. But for right now, this was easier. It kept me from having to buy a stand. Also, we're not using a pump or anything like that. So we have to freeze our bottles, which is what's going on in here. I've got our bottles frozen. And just to show you guys, this is Andrew's bottle right here, filled up, and basically 23 pounds is what we have in this bottle. His dry weight, empty weight is 14.2. So you can do the math there. So at 14.2, 22 pounds, we basically have about 8.5 pounds of nitrous in this bottle. Keeping track up here, each time we pull from it, we just add what we pulled. Should be about 60 to 65 pounds in this bottle. Anyway, my bottle is in here as well. This freezer works out perfect for these bottles. Also, if anybody's wondering what this setup cost, guys, it's way, way cheaper than you think. This complete setup, leasing the bottle, getting the bottle here to my house, was like 240 bucks. It's only $75 a year to lease this bottle. So then subtract that. We're somewhere around about $175, $180 to refill this bottle, and you can get 5 to 6 bottles out of it. Anyway, I just want to share that with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead, finish up this little line, and we'll close this video out. Everything's done. It's not pretty, but it's fine, it'll work. And this is the line just waiting for the new setup. So I made that a little long. So anyway, probably put a filter on it right there at the end. Anyway, that's just gonna chill right there until we get all of this stuff ready to go. So this nitrous plate will not work with that intake and these valve covers. The intake is not tall enough, and the valve covers are too tall for this. So this needs something like a Victor Junior intake or Super Victor or something like that to really clear it. And even with the spacer, I left the spacer on down here underneath, and it still hit the top of the valve covers. So this system right here is a big boy system. This isn't, you know, just some stuff you slap on a stock little 302. I know a lot of people are probably saying, well, why don't you just put this on? I would, but the issue is I bought 6A in line now, and none of the connections are gonna work and fit right that I have. So we'll just wait. It's no big deal. We'll figure all this out at some point. Let's step out here for a second. Look what's outside. So I was talking with Papa T today, and I think we got a game plan for this weekend on the Gray Ghost. Either he's gonna come over here and we're gonna work on this thing, or I'm gonna take it over to his house and we're gonna start on body work. So something that I've not shown you guys is on the other side over here. The fender gap on this car was horrible. It was pinched in the center right here. So now the fender's not straight, and I can't go over there and really show you, but if you push the front of the fender out, then this gap gets almost perfect right down the center. So that's okay, because the car is probably going to go a really dark gray or either a black. All right, so there you go. Hopefully next weekend we'll be able to start on the Gray Ghost, get this thing going again. Man, I'm excited. We're pretty close with this car. We just need to finish up a few little things. We at least want to get it into primer sometime soon. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And as always, thanks for watching.